let's do another segment of headlines, and we'll start with the really big thing in here is and here's the thing about the Major League Baseball substance situation. We've all talked about it a lot, and we would like to stop talking about it. So tonight is going to be the conversation to end all substance conversations. We will not talk about it again until somebody gets suspended for it. But let's go through the specifics of this thing, okay? So baseball I believe it was at the beginning of this week, announced their new substance rules. Pitchers will be ejected and will receive a 10-game paid suspension if they are caught using some kind of substance. No, that's a paid suspension. And also, there's a lot of people unhappy, one of them being Gerrit Cole. And, one of the reasons a lot of people are unhappy is that Major League Baseball has not really given any specificity as to what substances in general are banned. We know the one spider tack is the one everyone's been using, that we know that's not going to be allowed. But, other than that, it's kind of up in the air. So I just want you guys' opinions in general about all of this, and we've had so much time to digest this situation. But Sam, I'll start with you here. Just sound off.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. You shouldn't have said that because I'm going to now. And this is this is going to be a lively discussion because I think we all have pretty strong opinions about this. But for me, I really liked what the MLB decided to do when I first heard of this, which I think was 2-3 weeks ago, where they first came out with a thought of doing this. And I really liked it because I saw a clear issue in the game of baseball. You saw pitchers dominating and hitters being terrible, to be honest. So for me, there was a clear issue that needed to be changed. And I really like that the MLB decided to change it now instead of waiting till the end of the season, because I don't know, I think speaking for baseball fans in general, people did not want to watch hitting be this bad and pitchers dominate this much. I think we wanted a little bit more balance to the game for sure. And that's what this rule was intended to bring. To the extent to which it helps hitters who have actually improved since the rules have been implemented, I don't know if it's as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, but it certainly plays into it. It certainly helps hitters a little bit, maybe gain some confidence at the plate in a game where pitchers were dominating. For me, the other thing is that I'm so out on pitchers complaining about this. I'm so out on it. Like, you're cheating. You're doing something wrong. And I know baseball is a game of cheating. And there's been cheating in baseball since baseball has been a thing, since baseball has existed. So I get that. I get people being a little frustrated that a situation like this is handled differently than, let's say, the Astros situation was handled, or previous cheating scandals have been handled, whatever. I get that, but stop complaining. You have rosin, which is a substance that is used by everyone. You have your sweat. Combine those two and you can get a good grip on the baseball. I'm almost 100% certain of it. You don't need sticky substances. You can pitch without it. It's not the reason you're getting hurt. And to be honest, if that is a reason, that's terrible. You shouldn't be relying on cheating that much. That means you're not a great pitcher, in my opinion. So for me, if you're a pitcher, stop complaining about it. Start pitching. They needed a way to kind of level the game out. This is helping a little bit. Pitchers were just getting too dominant for me. A pace of play argument could be brought up, which I think we're going to get into also, because checking guys throughout a game might take a little while, which could be a little bit of a concern. But they haven't really caught anyone yet. They haven't even. I haven't seen anyone being checked yet, at least I've been watching baseball. So I don't know how much that's even happening. I think more of it was we're explaining that this rule is being implemented, so stop using the substances. I think a lot of pitchers were deterred from using it just with the rule being implemented. So for me, I really like it, and I'm sick of pitchers complaining about it, to be honest.
I mean, this is just, it reminds me of the Astros cheating scandal a lot, because yes, as you said, there's cheating in baseball that goes back to the beginning of the game. So let's bring up the sign stealing. Everyone, not everyone, but people stole signs, which I guess it's cheating, I guess, but they do it.
A lot of teams do it.
Yeah, which is like whatever. So it's not like stealing a sign from second base is different to what the Astros did, where they put cameras and like all that stuff, and whatever it came down to be, where they went above and beyond everybody else. It's also like, it's fine to use. First of all, rosin's the acceptable one that the MLB wants you to use, and like there's definitely understanding of using the grip, and even like the natural stuff with like the actual sunscreen with whatever. I guess if that helped, like that's probably towing the line, but like at least it's like sunscreen, and we all use sunscreen. And I'm assuming a lot of baseball players use sunscreen. And when I played baseball, I used sunscreen just because I don't want to get burnt. But it goes above, like, now we're spider tack, whatever that's even used for, I don't know. But the way you can, like, people were saying, like, it's like ripping glue off of paper when you glue something to, that's what it would feel like every pitch. Or it would be like Trevor Bauer concocting his own substance to, so his RPMs are the highest. Like, it's so, like, it's really frustrating. So when you have a guy like Cole and Bauer, where their RPMs and their spin rates get exponentially higher in such a short amount of time, where something's wrong. And that's the cheating aspect of it, where you can get so good, and it's not natural for that to happen. It's not like Jacob deGrom, he's so good, but it's not like his RPMs are like ungodly. It's other stuff, and it's natural stuff, which is why I love Jacob deGrom so much. And it's just different with Cole. And then he's, complaining, on the podium, like saying how it's so bad, like he got away with it forever. And, you had amazing seasons with it. He got away with it for 3 years, got to a World Series, won a Cy Young, made $300 million because of it. Yeah. And now it's going away. And he's not a bad pitcher. And he's not a bad pitcher. He's still a
good pitcher.
Exactly. Is he trying to be like stand up for other players that have it? It's so, I don't understand it. And coming from, like, if you're not a guy using this and you see a guy like Gerrit Cole like complain about it so much, or even a guy like Tyler Glasnow, you're like, that must be so frustrating for those guys. And then the hitters that they just got cheated off of. I mean, if basically what happened for, however long this was going on for, like, that's, I would be really upset if I was a player, right now I'm upset as a fan, but especially if I was a player who wasn't, cheating or doing this, I'd be like, this guy is complaining how he can't cheat anymore. It makes no sense.
Okay, look, I'm going to give an opinion that might be an unpopular opinion, but is how I feel. Not completely, but in a general sense. Are you ready for this?
I think so.
For the most part, I really don't care about cheating in baseball. I really, really don't. Like, it does not matter that much to me. And to be honest with you, it doesn't really seem like Major League Baseball cares that much either. We saw how they let the Astros off easy. They really did. Mm-hmm. They got the commissioner to call the trophy a piece of metal. Like, it's all just so backwards to me, quite honestly. Look, I mean, you want to bring up offense? Fine. I'm all about that. But here's the thing. For one thing, as we've been mentioning a lot here, cheating has just become it's just a part of baseball. I mean, and when you think about it, like, this whole sport sounds like the premise of a Marx Brothers movie. Like, really, and just it's a very old-timey type sport where it's like you stand at the plate and then you stand there and you wait for the ball and then you smack it.
But it is an old-timey sport. I mean, it's been around forever.
It's an old-timey. It's been around forever. The way it's played is not really changed, and they've been throwing spitballs since 1924. Like, it is. I think it's just silly when people try and regulate it like that.
When the sticky substances, I think cheating, the last thing I want to say about it is just cheating in general. I think it's one thing to like cheat with just stealing signs from second base. But when you're using, like, if you're concocting your own substances,
I don't even call that cheating. Like taking signs from second base. If you're looking at the catcher's signs and they're being that obviously stupid, that doesn't really happen in the pros too much.
Yeah, but I'm just,
if you find a way to pick that up, like,
it's just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. And like, even like the sunscreen, like if you're using it, well, like what was happening was I heard that like they would like fill sunscreen with like a different substance and just, that looks like sunscreen, tastes like sunscreen, but it was not sunscreen. Yeah, and like, I mean, if guys were doing, like, Trevor Bauer has this pitching lab, like, who knows what he's concocting in there? I mean, and who knows how many other people that are not as upfront as Trevor Bauer doing that as well. So I just feel like that stuff is over the top, and that stuff has to be gone. And I don't know what, like, look, I've never pitched. I mean, like, when I was playing baseball, the only thing I could throw was a fastball. So I don't even know what it's
spin rate didn't matter as much.
Exactly. Didn't matter. So I don't know how much like the rosin matters, or like, I mean, the rosin, I think it helps for sure. Like, but again, I mean, if guys are trying to have to concoct their own substance, maybe there's a problem with the way, if you want to be this amazing pitcher, look at your mechanics, look at something else, not trying to take the easy way out and just, cheapen it almost. Because that's what it felt like when your RPMs go up, the 5 times in like one off season. Like, that's not possible. And when it was happening, it's always like, oh, you're probably using something. And now it kind of boiled over to what we're seeing now.
Yeah, and before I say anything, let me just say I'm aware, for those of you watching this, that I have been a GIF machine during this entire segment. But so here's the thing about sticky substances and sign stealing and all these different things, and even steroids as well, where like Major League Baseball often acts like they have an obligation to kids watching to have some kind of moral standard, as if kids have access to performance enhancing drugs and spider track and
I know, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Like to me it's just it's a whole bunch of hypocrisy, if you ask me. Like, it's just first off, if you really care about putting on a good example for kids, cater the game to kids. Like, they cater the game to older fans, like, and that's what this really comes down to. But I want to end this conversation once and for all. So I'm going to give you both one last chance to say one quick thing, whatever you want, about the sticky substance situation, other S words, and just say what you want, and then we're done with it for now.
Well, you can say we're done with it, but something's going to happen soon, and it's going to come back again. But anyway, I can say I guess I can't really say I'm done with it, but my final point is I totally agree with you, Dylan. We're about appealing to younger fans, because I love the game of baseball. I do. And I think all of us here do, to be honest. I mean, we all love the game of baseball. We are all going to watch no matter what. But I love the game of baseball so much, I want to see other people share in that feeling. I really do. And for me, shortening the game is key to getting more younger fans into the game, enjoying the game and watching it. And that's why I get upset, because I really want to see this game get better and get more popular, because I know the places it can go, and how good of a sport it can be, with more popularity and with more younger fans. So yeah, that's my last take on it.
No, yeah, I mean, I will say one more thing, and like you talk about the younger fans, also more national coverage and better national coverage will help 100%. And also, like, I don't think a single Jacob deGrom start has been on national TV this year. Oh. So that's something to point out. The best pitcher, literally the best pitcher in baseball history, or having the best season in baseball history, I should say. Who knows down the line, but this year he's having the best season in baseball history, and not one of his starts have been on ESPN or anything. And even if it was on ESPN, the coverage wouldn't, I don't think, be as good as what Gary, Keith, and Ron do on the Mets broadcast. And you got to showcase the game. And I know that they've been doing that in some ways with like Ohtani and some other guys, but to see deGrom never, like deGrom start not on national TV, that is a huge problem. Like, and that's something that also I think shares the blame as well. Like, you got to be able to market your stars, and the NBA does really well, but MLB, I mean, that's a huge issue.